Pepper says, are you ready to reset some cabinets and do some organization in here? I know I am. Hello everyone and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart for today. Yup, we are back in this kitchen for our spring cleaning series, going through the cabinets. Today we're going to go through the Tupperware cabinet, then the pots and pans cabinet right next to it below the oven, and then the two cabinets above the oven. That kind of has a lot of like baking stuff in there, and we really have to go through some of that stuff. Now, I want to pause and give a very special thank you to Karina Loves Matthew. Thank you so much for your super thanks donation. That means the world to me as I try to build up this channel and bring awareness to hoarding disorder, decluttering, cleaning, and just resetting our lives and houses. So I just want to say thank you so much, Karina. This video is dedicated to you. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start in this Tupperware cabinet right over here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start pulling everything out. Now, we do use a lot of Tupperware because I cook a lot from home and there's always leftovers. Now, I also got this for my birthday and it's super cute, and we're going to be using it at the pool to store fruit and stuff because we're on a tight budget and the pool is pretty much going to be our vacation spot. So we'll be using this a lot. Now, last week, I introduced my new concept of intuitive organization. I wrote out my feelings, following my heart on where I would naturally reach for an item without overthinking, and what subconscious behaviors, routines, and habits are already occurring. So I'm not creating new systems. And one of my YouTube family members, Robin, pointed out that this was similar to what Dana K. White teaches. And I didn't realize this, and I never want to copy someone else's technique without crediting them. And I'm very thankful that Jenny87 reassured me that I arrived at the same idea but from different angles, and that I had a unique way of framing it. And that made me feel so much better, but especially because it shows that I'm in the right mindset of change. Now, I'm going to continue to develop intuitive organizing through my heart and ideas, but saying that it is similar to Dana K. White's method. I don't get a chance to really watch other influencers as much as I want to, but I know that she's very popular, so I need to set aside some time so I can watch her. Now, you know that Miss Pepper has to inspect the cabinet to make sure we're doing a good job, and we definitely have to give these shelves a good wipe down because I don't remember the last time we cleaned that out. Now, obviously, this is right here is a tossy. Same with the extra popsicle stick. That is a tossy. We don't need these ice cube trays. We already have ice cube trays. And there's a few Tupperware that we can actually let go of. Like all this that I'm showing, we can let all of this go. I don't know where the lids are to some of this stuff. So this stuff we're letting go of. Now, remember this container a few weeks ago that held the alcohol in it? Well, we're going to reuse it for small containers. I do use small containers a lot during the week. Now, this top shelf, its home is going to be serving trays. I've already had a lot of serving trays in here, so that naturally goes with the flow and my subconscious habits that are already have been created. Now, it's also going to be the home for small containers alongside serving trays because that's what I intuitively assigned. I assign homes as I go based on my rhythm, energy, and space. And the bottom shelf has always been the home for bigger Tupperware pieces. So I am placing them back neatly, but I would really love to have one of those pull-out drawers so that I can pull out the Tupperware easier. But for now, because I'm on a pretty tight budget and a no spend, I'm just putting them back based on the frequency on how much we use the Tupperware. So now
this is what this looks like. And I have to say, it looks very nice. Now, I just want to take a moment to take down the Easter decor. I had just realized that, oh my gosh, Easter was like a month ago and we need to take this down. So very quickly, I'm just taking everything down, giving it a good wipe down and putting it away. Now, changing the seasons, whether it's for spring or summer or Halloween, it really brings happiness and joy to my heart. And I will probably continuously change that shelf because that's what I want this space to be. It makes me feel peaceful. It makes me feel happy. It tells the story of our house. At least that's what it feels like in my heart. Because in the summertime, I love to put the lemons up because it makes me so happy. And I think that's why we're all decluttering and organizing, right? We want to tell the story of our house and love the spaces that we live in. Okay, so let's move to the cabinet that is above the stove. Now, this has been pretty much dedicated to baking, and we do a lot of baking in this house, but let's start by pulling everything out of here. Now, these cabinets have been the home to baking supplies since we probably moved in here. So since this is such a deep-rooted routine behavior that we automatically go into these cabinets to find baking supplies, we're not going to change it. It will continuously be the baking shelves because we've already established happy memories and feelings of when we're going to start baking, we're going to pull out the supplies from here. My whole life, spaces, rooms, things have always been emotionally based. So that's why I'm going to continue decluttering, organizing based off of my feelings and emotions and how the space makes me feel. Now let's start with the cupcake container. Clearly, this is the cupcake cups. And my goodness, we definitely have to go through this because there are so many. So we can all agree that yes, we're doing a no spend on the cupcake holders. We need to use them up before we buy new ones. And right now, I'm just organizing and sorting through to see what do we have? What can we let go of? What's really old that we don't need anymore? Like the cupcake rings. We can totally let that go. And I'm going to very quickly wipe down the container. It's not dirty, but it just needs a little wipe down. And what we're keeping, I'm going to put back into a Ziploc bag. Now, the Ziploc bags was like my original form of organizing that I probably started back in college, probably because it was cheap, simple, and clear, and I can see it. So I'm just going to kind of continue rolling with it because, again, it's feelings based and it makes me feel happy. And I will share that me and Tyler love making cupcakes and muffins throughout the year. Not only for just like birthdays and holidays, we like to just bake together. It's a very special thing that me and him do together. So that's why I'm happy that I was able to condense this all down, put it into this container. That way it's nice and organized for the next time we bake. Now let's move into the next bin, which is the candle bin. And there are so many candles in here. Like some of these candles are probably like 15 years old. Some are new in the package. Some things I need to just straight throw out like this. Does anyone else hoard candles like this? Because I feel, I don't know, maybe guilty letting them go because I felt like, hey, I can reuse them because that's what hoarding was. It was being resourceful without a boundary. And I would just consistently buy candles to match the theme and then save them thinking, hey, if I wash it out really good, I can reuse it because it's not like they go bad. It's not an edible or perishable. So I just continued to save it and save it. Why? Because it made me feel empowered. It made me feel capable. It made me feel like I was in control of my life and I had the attachment to the actual pieces because it sparked good memories. Everything is feeling evoked when it comes to my stuff. Now, as you can see right now, I'm letting go of some really old candles. Some of this stuff, there's no need to hold on to all of this. And of course, we're going to not buy any more candles, use up the candles that we already have. And honestly, half of them I'm going to give away. Of course, the ones that are not used. The ones that are used, we're totally trashing them. But the ones that are brand new, we're going to give some of them away, and it might help another family out. And the ones we're keeping, of course, we're putting them in a Ziploc bag, kind of organizing them by categories. We're being resourceful with a boundary because it's all fitting in this container. And these are all the candles that we're going to let go of. There's no need to hoard and hold on to all of this. Now, the next category is like cake decorating. So this is like your piping tools, your sprinkles, your food coloring, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to contain it within these two containers. Now, I am very aware of Dana K's White's container method. I did watch that video and that does help me a lot. So that is what we're using as we go and sort through all of this. And clearly there's a ton of food coloring and sprinkles, or jimmies if you live in Jersey, in this container. And it looks like one of the food coloring sprung a leak. So whatever is covered in this old food coloring is definitely a tossy-tossy. We're getting rid of it right away. Now there is some food coloring stuck to the bottom of the bin. So real quick, I'm just going to get some soap. I'm going to get some warm water and just let it soak so that we can wipe this clean. Now, as I was going through the sprinkles, I Googled how long do sprinkles stay good for? And it said that they generally don't expire, but lose quality over time. But they can stay good for up to a year when open and stored properly. And I thought, well, okay, so basically it's up to me how I decide how long, because I'm like, if it doesn't expire but it loses quality, do I really want to eat it? So I just figured, okay, anything that's a double, we'll get rid of. Anything that's clumping, we'll let go of. And the rest we'll keep. And I Googled the same for food coloring, and it said that food coloring doesn't expire in a sense that it becomes unsafe to consume, but once open, liquid food coloring typically lasts about 2 or 3 years. Okay, so I just went on a gauge by that. Anything that was over 4 years, I got rid of. Anything that was under it, we kept. So, of course, we're putting everything in the containers. Now, this little container, I'm just putting the Christmas sprinkles in that one, and all the other decorating stuff will go into the pink bin. And I'm just sliding stuff back into its spot, similar to the way it was before. I put the Christmas sprinkles up high because obviously we only use that once a year. Same with the candles, it's only for birthdays. And now I'm happy to say that this cabinet is nice and reset. Next, let's move to the cabinet that has the pots and pans. Now this cabinet is directly underneath of the stove. And this is going to remain the home for the pots and pans because this is where I naturally reach for this without even thinking about it. It's on autopilot. If I have to cook something, I'm automatically grabbing the pot that I need in this cabinet. Now there are some baking stuff in here, and we made room in the other cabinet to place that in. This container is for mixing meat like meatloaf. This is a regular pot. This is another baking bowl that will be put in the other cabinet. And this, it's a new pot and I really need to use it. This is an old spoon rest that broke that I thought I can fix, but yeah, let's let this go. This is my little cutting board. I do use that all the time. But the air fryer, we don't really use it that much anymore. So I'm going to put it in the laundry room because I want this space to eventually be the kitchen overflow. Things we're not using as much. I would consider the cabinet underneath the stove a high traffic space, meaning that every day I'm taking things in and out of it, whether it's to cook, whether we're putting it back because we cleaned it. It is a high traffic area for things that are used on on a daily basis. And of course, we're going to get the bottom of this cabinet a really good wipe down. And it's also finally time to open up the chili pot. I know why I never opened it up. A lot of times when it comes to cooking, I'm in a rush because the kids came home after school. They finished their homework and I have to make something really quick because I have to get them to the next activity or sports. So that's why I never took the time to open it and give it a good rinse until now. Now, of course, I'm going to be putting everything back into the cabinet. Now, I would have loved to have purchased some kind of like pot organizing shelf, whether it's like a vertical one going up or like the metal shelving that we found in the basement and we put in the other cabinet, but I don't have another one. And I'm on a really strict no buy this month because a lot of expenses have come up and also there's a lot of things coming up in the summertime. So right now, that kind of stuff is a want and not a need. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay because we're already identifying the space. We've already kept the pieces that we used. We're already getting it ready for when in the future we can purchase those organizational pieces. It's going to be easy peasy. We can do it right away. And overall, I like how this turned out. Everything is visible, which is what I need. I can grab it right away when I start the cook. And of course, I made sure that we were throwing stuff out, recycling things that need to be recycled, emptying out the hard sugar sprinkles into the trash can, and then taking anything that was a plastic container, recycling stuff that could be recycled, and tossing things into the trash that needed to be trashed. And overall, I think we were very successful in this episode. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter, and let something go in your home today too.